Coming up, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam is calling on lawmakers to take action in the wake of a deadly shooting in Virginia Beach. And some churches in our region are finding it harder than ever to make ends meet, and that efforts to lower costs are having little impact on the financial strain. Plus, the Apple Shop is unveiling Eastern Kentucky's largest renewable energy system this Friday and wants people to come check it out.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:32 on Wednesday, June the 5th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Well, we're expecting a round of severe storms today, which has led us to declare today a severe weather alert day. Brandon, what's the timing on this? And you said it's kind of hard to pinpoint at this point.
Exactly, and we're seeing a few pop-up showers and storms now, so we're going to continue to watch that, but it could be two waves. That's what we're going to really have to pinpoint as we get deeper into the day. Let's take a look at what's going on now, the last 6 hours. You see those showers and storms starting to fire across parts of the area. We go to live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you're seeing little specks of green, red, and yellow, orange there across the area, but the biggest concentration of storms we're seeing right now is over into Pike County, coming out of Floyd County, just south of Prestonsburg, just north of Pikeville, going over toward the Belfry and over into Williamson there in West Virginia areas. UVA-wise, quiet this morning. Had some rain go through there earlier. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, and it's going to be a very back and forth type of day with those chances for scattered showers and storms around. If we see some afternoon clearing, we could get above that 81-degree reading, but we'll stick with that for now. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All righty, Brandon, thank you. A former sheriff's deputy now faces criminal charges in connection with the 2018 mass shooting in Parkland, Florida. He's being held on $102,000 bond. CBS's Nicole Killian reports from Washington.
Former Deputy Scott Peterson was escorted into a Florida jail Tuesday under arrest for failing to confront the gunman who killed 17 people in Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in February of 2018. His arrest was announced at a public safety meeting.
We have just arrested Deputy Scott Peterson, 7 felony counts, 4 misdemeanor counts, and 1 count of perjury.
Peterson is facing charges of child neglect, culpable negligence, and perjury. His attorney called the action unprecedented and said the charges lack basis in fact and law. Peterson has repeatedly defended himself, saying he didn't know where the shots were coming from.
In the perfect world, I would have said, oh yeah, I know there was a shooter in there. Let me go to the 3rd floor, find this person.
Surveillance video shows Peterson never entered the building, but instead took cover outside for 48 minutes.
It's very clear he knew what was happening. It's very clear to me he knew where the shots were coming from inside the building.
Andrew Pollock's daughter, Meadow, was shot 9 times.
It's a step towards more accountability for letting my daughter get murdered and those other 16 victims.
Another father, Fred Guttenberg, tweeted that Peterson should, quote, rot in hell. Peterson was booked into the same jail where the confessed shooter is being held. The charges could carry a combined sentence of nearly 100 years. Nicole Killian, CBS News.
Peterson also has 40 civil lawsuits filed against him. Now, Brevard County, Florida deputy was seriously wounded in a shooting that began with a dispute over feeding feral cats. The sheriff said the deputy was called out because of a fight between neighbors. During the argument, one of the neighbors became agitated and got a rifle. There was a shootout between the man with the gun and the deputy. The man with the gun was killed. The deputy was rushed to the hospital and into surgery. He is expected to recover. Now, following one of the deadliest mass shootings in Virginia's history last week, Governor Ralph Northam is calling for action. Northam is calling for a special legislative session and for lawmakers to take action in the wake of a deadly shooting in Virginia Beach that left 12 people dead.
This weekend's tragedy, as well as the tragedies that happen every day across Virginia, must instill in us a new level of urgency to act.
Some of the proposals Governor Ralph Northam wants the legislature to address include banning magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, universal background checks, and a requirement to report a stolen gun within 24 hours. Both weapons in Friday's attack were purchased legally, so it is unclear if new laws could have prevented the tragedy. Well, Kentucky election officials have delayed certifying statewide primary election results after the state's chief election official pointed out a series of discrepancies in vote counts. Those will not change any outcomes of last month's primary election. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes blames the certification delay on a new state law that removed much of her authority over the State Board of Elections. Grimes says her staff found discrepancies that should have been detected by the Elections Board staff. Grimes and the board's executive director have an ongoing feud. Board chairman Josh Branscombe did not blame the law for the certification delay. He says the board needs to make some clarifications before its next meeting. Republican lawmaker Damon Thayer called Grimes' comments beyond absurd and urged her to ensure the Kentucky election results are correct and certified. Well, the Pike County Fiscal Court is working to improve its safety procedures following the death of one of its employees. WYMT's Buddy Forbes talked with Judge Executive Ray Jones, who says safety is one of this administration's top priorities.
Danny Taylor was killed on the job May 24th while working for the Pike County Road Department.
Tragic.
Judge Executive Ray Jones said the new administration was already working to improve safety measures.
When we came in, it was obvious that the county didn't have a comprehensive safety program.
Now, change is immediately underway.
It was obvious to us that we needed to expedite the implementation of a safety program.
He said a few different things will be put into place to create a safer working environment.
But the main benefit is to prevent injuries to our county workers.
From a new insurance provider?
The new insurance carrier will be here July 1st. They're going to be working with us to implement a OSHA-compliant safety program.
To specified training.
We've also have contracted with a certified OSHA trainer.
And new equipment.
Boots, reflective vest, hard hats, eyewear.
He says it won't be cheap.
We're going to have to spend some money.
But it should have already been done.
And this is stuff that should have been in place 20, 30 years ago.
Jones said the new administration has work to do.
You can't implement a program like this overnight. It's going to take some time.
But it will be to the benefit of all involved. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Jones says he hopes this program and a new level of accountability will keep county workers safe. Well, as the school year comes to an end, many students go without eating nutritious meals. But one county is making sure no child is left behind. The Johnson County school system has started back up their summer feeding program. They have several locations around the county, and they even offer a mobile food truck for those who do not have a way of getting to the schools.
It's a program just to where kids can get free meals just to help, families throughout the summer while school's not in session. Any child aged 18 or under can get a free meal.
Now, for more information on the times and locations for the Johnson County food program, you can visit our website at WYMT.com. We will get up many of the other schools who are doing that later today. Now, a church in Knott County took serving the community to a new level Tuesday. They worked with a local gas station for a gas buy down. Here's how it worked. People could stop by to get gas for 30 cents cheaper until noon. The church also helped pay for the gas. Well, some churches in our region are finding it harder than ever to make ends meet. Workers at the Vico Worship Center say their power bill continues to increase. Despite taking all possible actions to lower their cost, that, paired with a dropping number in attendance, is creating a hardship in the church.
We met with the power company representatives from AEP last year, one lady, and we have changed all the lighting in the whole building out to LEDs. We've done everything we know to do as far as cutting power.
Davidson says he plans to meet with other pastors about the issue. We have a list of power-saving tips on our website at WYMT.com. Well, for its 50th anniversary, Apple Shop unveils Eastern Kentucky's largest renewable energy system this Friday. With 192 solar panels on the structure and 42 on a nearby building, generating 12 houses worth of renewable energy. Apple Shop is using the energy system to power about 70% of its business, saving them money on electric bills. Apple Shop's executive director is hopeful the new project will set a precedent of using renewable energy in Eastern Kentucky.
Solar is a new technology. It's an expensive startup cost technology relative to burning coal. but long-term is sustainable. The sun will at one point run out, but it's going to be a long way from today.
The community is invited to the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the Renewable Energy System this Friday at 3:30 p.m. Festivities will also be held as part of Appleshop's Seed Time on the Cumberland event. Crews, they spent much of Tuesday working to clean up a mess after a coal truck crashed and lost its load in Harlan. Here's a look at the crash. It happened on US 119 near the Shell gas station. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The northbound lanes were closed for a brief time, but reopened before the afternoon. Many of you have reached out to us to tell us about layoffs at a Harlan County coal mine. We talked to JRL Coal's general manager, John Quintrell. He did tell us that they let go several surface mining positions as they switched the company's focus. They are in the process of hiring 35 underground positions. And later, the East Kentucky Dream Center hosted a golf tournament on Tuesday to help provide for local people in need.
Today is a good day to stay weather aware and have a way to get warnings quickly. I'll tell you about our storm chances in about 3 minutes.